Hi everyone. Uh, Good evening. Let's see how quickly we can get people into the stream. It's going to be interesting to see who's awake this time of night and who is interested in being a part of a community discussion this time of night. And we've got our first person in the chat. That's wonderful. We have two people in now. Welcome. I've only done a chat this late once before and it was very well attended. I think it was much late at night, and there's quite a few interesting things that I want to discuss. Hi, Kathy. So, this is a question and answer session, and I think you might find the Hi, Collie song. You might find the thumbnail interesting. There, we're getting more people in now. I did not advertise this, I did not put the links out anywhere. So, the people that really want to come in late, you can be a part of this discussion. Hi, Patricia. Hi, Heinrich, Suzette. Um, Good to see you all here. We have about 30 people watching now. I don't expect to have many people. Hi, Mpumelelo, Derek. Hi, Shalay, Cindy. Welcome. We have about 44 people in this chat. This chat is open to everyone, and only subscribers to the channel can comment. So I made sure that only subscribers can comment. So anyone can watch, but only subscribers can comment in the chat. Remember to put it on live chat so you can see what everyone else has to say. Hi, Philip. Yeah, I don't know. All these people with weird names means absolutely nothing to me. Um, yeah, and I'm also not going to answer your questions. I don't speak to weird things. I like to speak to people with names and surnames. It's just a very normal thing to do. So, hi, Gail, Nadia. Hi. Thanks for coming on. It's late at night. We'll see how many more people coming to this live stream. But I'm here to answer your questions. If you look at the thumbnail of this video, you can share this afterwards if you want to. Um, there's a lot of questions that you should be asking yourself with regards to the thumbnail of this video. Yes, I am feeling better. So, yeah, hi, Mayor. Red. I don't know who Red is. So it's very nice when I have a name and a surname because then I'm speaking to a person. I prefer that uh, in a live chat setup. There's so much happening. Hi, Carol. Welcome from the UK. This channel actually has over 2,000 people living overseas. And yeah, that's really incredible. We now have over 960 channel members. So, for those of you that want to join as a channel member and go and watch all that content, you can click join underneath the video or any of the other live streams, even the channel. You can click under join, and we have a thriving Double O Days channel community. And every Thursday at 8 o'clock, we come together and we have fun. And I'm going to be making two very unique videos for the channel members before the end of the year. And I, I really look forward to doing that. And you can look forward to those two videos. Yolanda, hi from the Free State, Orel. Uh, yes, if you like the video, remember this is open to the public. So you can like this video. People have been asking me, are you still going to be doing a live stream? I said, absolutely. I first spent time with my family. I cooked supper tonight. Lauren is literally disabled at the moment because she snapped her Achilles tendon. So she got quite a serious injury. Um, and hopefully she'll recover soon from that, but it's going to be at least 6 weeks minimum for her. And yeah, I got her crutches today so she could actually make her way around. But yeah, hi, Delian, all the way from Mpumalanga. Yes, if you like this video, then more people will see it. People, the first thing I want to say is just how incredible this channel has done. What you have managed to do in this year has been really special. Before we go over to questions, and really you can throw anything at me. I'm just not going to go into personal things. I'm not going to discuss religion or anything like that in any live format chat at all. So anything else related to the world, the country, and so on, nothing divisive. Or anything divisive, I just boot it off. But like I said, only subscribers to the channel can comment. Yeah, yeah, Edrich, I'm well, alive and kicking. There's so much happening at the moment, and yeah, it's a fascinating time. And you'll see the heading for this video is "Ignorance is Bliss," and I want to explain that to you. It's a blessing to not know things. It really is a blessing. And I don't think a lot of people comprehend what I mean by that. A lot of people have said to me in the past, I wish I knew everything you knew. And I said to them, please don't, because I wish that I didn't. I really wish that I could carry on with the life I had when I was in my late 20s. Um, I would prefer still to take that path today. If I could turn back time and do things differently, I would prefer not to know what I know. Um, I'm being brutally honest with you. So please do not want to carry the same burden that I have with regards to knowledge. You have no idea what you're asking for. So ignorance is bliss, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in really an envious way. Okay. Hi, Antoinette. Thanks, Antoinette. Sydney Kun. Hi, everyone. Um, Miro Polish. Hola. Hi, Dirk. In your campaign, Dino King. Awesome. Have to be up early, so might not go all the way strong. Yeah, I'm not going to be carrying on for too long. Okay, this is going to be half an hour, then I'm done. So, Dirk, this is not going to be very long. But I did want to speak to the people this evening. And the one point I really need to make is with the thumbnail of this video and then with the heading of this video, this live stream, that ignorance is bliss. And you're privileged if you are not bogged down with information that you don't need in your life to be self reliant or need in your life to live a fulfilling life. You don't need lots of information to live a fulfilling and good family life and actually make an awesome contribution to this world. You don't need um, that burden. So don't seek out that burden if you have an alternative. In other words, if you don't need to be burdened, don't burden yourself with things you can do nothing about. The only reason why I got to know what I did get to know is because I needed all that information to cope and deal with things that I had to go through and things that I had to do. I had no choice, and it's sad that I had no choice. I wish it could be different. So just take that from me any which way you want, okay? The world has an energy crisis, Suzette. It's not just South Africa. Sharon, whenever mainstream media is pushing a specific narrative, and the Russian Ukraine narrative is certainly being pushed by mainstream media, then there's an alternative behind it. And you're not seeing things for what it actually is at all. You know, I had someone send me an email earlier that I really appreciate. I like getting emails like that. Um, and I will contact the person still. I don't hand out names on live streams, but he received information from somebody that was also in intelligence about Jacob Zuma before he became president and other circumstances, which was contrary to the mainstream narrative. And at the time, he probably had difficulty understanding why this person with intelligence knowledge would give him information that is counterintuitive based on what the mainstream was putting out. And the first thing I need to tell you is mainstream is manipulated by intelligence all the time. I can testify to that. You know, I had many meetings many meetings with chief editors of newspapers and even the chief newsreaders for ETV, with regards to narratives that had to be put out correctly to make sure that the public actually gets accurate news. And because I could never live with putting fake news out to the public. And by doing that, we achieved a lot. It was with regards to Eskom and Kubuk specifically, and the public is very forgiving if you give them the truth, and that is really awesome. So I believe that media, mainstream media, if they put out truth, the world would be a very different place. But that's not the case. They are putting out narratives, and it's really sad. Um, yeah. So I don't have a take on the Russia-Ukraine situation. I'm not there. It's irrelevant, in fact. Russia can do whatever they want, to be honest. I'm not saying that they should. I'm saying they can. They have the ability. The US is playing catch up with regards to Russia and China at the moment. When Donald Trump admits it, then that is how they perceive it for sure. And they see real threats. And at the end of the day, what you put out in the mainstream media plays a certain role in people's minds. In other words, you are supposed to think something because of it. If it has no bearing on you and it doesn't influence you, why burden yourself with that information? Why is it going to make a difference in your life? If it's going to make a difference, then you need to take notice and you need to understand how it's going to make a difference in your life. And then you need to prepare for any circumstance that might arise from the situation. Hi, Ungas. Thanks for being here. Ireland, there will be any energy crises everywhere. Wow, okay. I see we have over 130 people watching now. So there will be an energy crisis everywhere. You're going to see a massive push back towards nuclear. You're going to see a massive push towards fusion energy. And as I've said in my double O days meetings before, you need to actually go and look at ITER, that project, what the project means, why that project was going full steam ahead during the pandemic, the so-called pandemic, why it didn't stop, it carried on when everything else shut down, why is that being launched in 2030, and why are there so many other fusion projects going ahead. And I've actually saved quite a few articles that I wanted to cover with people that I chose not to do because I didn't think it would really add value if you don't have the technical knowledge. And very recently, a fusion principle was proven to actually give off more energy than the energy being put in, which is a huge milestone for fusion energy. And I don't think most people comprehend what that actually means. It's mind-boggling how that can change the world very quickly. But enough of that for now. Dirk says an energy crisis is part of a worldwide winding down and part of the greater evil, preparing the herd for that which is planned towards 2030 and beyond 2030. And then Dirk mentions you will own nothing and be happy, Klaus Schwab. Absolutely. Hi, Dirk. Dirk Lombard. So there's Dirk Loubser and Dirk Lombard. Hi. Okay, Quantum Lights, I don't know who that is. Raw, I don't know who that is. Raw, I don't have to look up anything. People come to this channel to get information from me. I keep my information pure. It comes from me, and I think, wow, don't tread. Goodness gracious. Thank you very much. I see a transformer spinning around. They're going crazy. I think that is a transformer. Um, so the United Nations, I've spoken about at length, how the United Nations itself, as an entity, is implementing the Bavarian Illuminati plan in detail, a lot of detail. But once again, the UN is just an organization that was formed to influence governments, local governments, national governments, provincial governments across the world and influence them to implement the Agenda 2030 and Agenda 21, which is the agenda for the 21st century. So you need to look just beyond Agenda 2030. You have to look at 2040, 2050, and then 2063. And I have a goal to, before the big kickoff starts next year, to have finished translating my dad's book, Armageddon. And yeah, then I'll decide how to make that information available. Like I said, I've only read up to page 47, so I really need to get cracking with it. Nadia, how will they own your house if you do not have a mortgage? If you do not have a mortgage, easy. You won't own any land anywhere in the world. Remember, this is not just a South African thing. This is a worldwide thing. So there will be no land available to any human at all. Hi, Beata. Welcome. Don't Tread on Me says, I wonder about this too. If one doesn't have a mortgage, can they take your home? Absolutely. But remember, an alternative will be given. So we won't continue living the way that we are living right now. We will be living in a very different way. The, the people that lived that life will either be gone or they would be hauled into the new life, the smart city life. And the smart cities will be built in varying ways. We will have smart estates built. For instance, in South Africa, all over South Africa, smart estates are already being built. Century City was the first smart estate built or city system built within Africa. And Century City brags that it was the first, and the people living there are seriously controlled. Anyone that lives there now have a mortgage within Century City, own a flat or house, whatever it might be. They are completely monitored, tracked, and traced, morning, noon, and night. It's not a great feeling. And I mean, if you see how many smart city developments are happening all over South Africa right now, the first thing that gets implemented is the monitoring, tracking, and tracing mechanisms. So they are being implemented first. Down but not out yet. They can take whatever they want. How are you going to stop them? Um, you know, I'm not going to stop anything. When a group of people stand together to do something, you can do whatever you want. And that is the bottom line. If you have a lot of people working together meticulously, and I want to speak about something that is supposed to be taking place tomorrow with regards to working together. And the way I see people working together is people working together towards a common goal as individuals. And this is important to understand. The moment you group or throw people together and they don't have that individuality, then you subvert everything that they are doing, because you can now get people to follow a person and subvert the whole lot. You can just go and literally get access to the leader. When you have access to the leader of a group, and people follow that leader blindly, you control everybody. That's the easiest way of doing something. And that's why I've said before, when someone puts himself forward as a savior figure, run as far as you can, because you do not want to follow any person but yourself, with regards to creating your own self-reliant system and being as independent of government and corporations as you can. That is important. Once you do that, then you start building a group of people that are not just independently thinking, but independently living. They've removed themselves from the Rothschild financial system. And in South Africa, that's already happening. And that scale of that happening is growing and growing and growing daily. If I just look at the Self-reliance and Resources group on Telegram, it's just incredible how those people are sharing information and how that group will grow and grow and grow. I don't know where it's going to end up. I hope that it's a resources group. In other words, a place where people can get information. That's the goal. And I think it's working. It's difficult to subvert people that want to do something for themselves. The moment you follow this leader, the savior figure, you're in deep, deep trouble. And I got a phone call from someone on Monday asking me, it's quite hot where I am now, asking me if I want to be part of a discussion on Wednesday of a whole load of groups of people coming together to say what we should be doing. Each person gets 5 minutes to talk, and then from there, a decision is going to be made, and all these groups are going to work together. I said, no, I'm not interested at all because, firstly, I don't have followers. I'm not anyone's leader. I don't tell people what to do. I give them my perspective, and then people can do what they want. And what people do, you can see through their actions. It's got nothing to do with me, what people end up doing. And it's really powerful to see how people have done things their own way, figured things out their own way. That's not me. That's those people. I look up to them. I mean, I learn so much from people. Sometimes I sit and I actually spend 5 minutes and I scroll through the Self-reliance resources group, and I just quickly look at the information that people share there. It's just incredible. Um, the people we have in this country, and people can do that anywhere in the world. And that's really, really, really special. So, you okay? Don't trade on me. Says love the Self reliance and resources group. Thank you for creating the space for us to gather and share. To me, that group, I wanted to keep it with everything I've got, and it seems like it's working well. And once again, how do you subvert people wanting to be self-reliant and independent? You can't. You can't do that to them. And once those people grow and grow and grow, it's very difficult for a foreign entity to come into a country and tell those people what to do because they don't control them via banks anymore. They don't control them via fiat currency. So how do you control them? It's not easy. Not easy at all. Download not out yet says that's a big thing on my side, trying to get people to understand. I'm just sharing information. Most see me as telling them what to do. That is sad when that happens. At the end of the day, the people can see for themselves. If I tell people to become as self-reliant and as independent as they can, that's me giving people a perspective. People will do that however they see fit, and it's going to be very different for every person. If you're living in a flat somewhere, for instance, how you're going to become self-reliant and independent will be very different from someone living on a small holding or on a farm. And that's just how it is. And that is why community becomes important. And all of that is covered. Dirk says at Beata, true, but the enemy of those creating in his image is working his plan at a free space. I'm not going to talk religion, but I was sitting down with my kids earlier, uh, thinking about some very important things that happened a long time ago that was well recorded in history. And a day popped up when I actually at my work, the business that I had back in the day, spoke to the staff about an event that happened around 2000 years ago, and how profoundly changed the future of the world and the difference it actually made, and how mainstream media has turned it into something completely different, and how it's been turned into consumerism and many other things. And that discussion I had just popped up into my head again because I felt inspired to do it at that time. And the one of the staff members came to me afterwards and he said he's never heard anything like that with regards to such a simple but such an important thing that has shaped the history of the world. And maybe one day I will still touch on that. I will see how I feel. It'll definitely be in a membership discussion, and I'm sure people will find it fascinating. Matsu, hi. Some people say they're going to run to the wild and this will not affect them. They are wrong, unfortunately. So, if a drone can fly there, it has been mapped out. The first thing I need to tell most people is that every walking route, every walking path in the world has been walked with people with Google camera helmets on. In other words, everything has been scanned. Every cave, every footpath. I'm sure there's some places that are quite remote, but the ones that people often use, they have all been scouted out and they have been mapped exactly. So cars with Google cameras on their roofs actually drove all the roads in the Northern Cape, in every province, even the most barren areas. Because I saw the cars in those areas actually doing and spoke to the teams. They were doing the surveys, so it's very real. You can't just hide. You would have to go to a place where no one's been before, or yeah, do something interesting that I won't discuss in an open forum right now. Well, we have 180 people watching. Thanks for joining us this time of night. I'm not going to carry on for very long. If there's any more questions, down but not out yet says, what I found in my conversations is actually scary. People think living in a smart city is a great idea. They think Star Trek, but I know it will be a gulag. That depends on a person's perspective. So to me, I don't care how smart a city is. I don't have a problem with technology. I have a problem with you being monitored, tracked, and traced to the point where you are not free anymore, where you will not be able to exercise free agency. And the moment that happens, I go to war. It's that simple. So I'm not anti technology. I'm using technology right now to speak to all of you. And I want technology to improve. I don't want things to go backwards. However, the moment you develop technology to the point where we cannot turn back and governments can use technology against you, I have a huge problem with that. And we should never let technology get to that place. So, what we need to do is become the government because that's what we are supposed to be. So, ignorance is bliss is a very interesting statement because the one thing I wanted to mention is the fact that it's easy for us to be ignorant in the face of adversity. And that's a very different concept. Being ignorant, in other words, not knowing about bad things happening around you when you can't see it, that is one thing. But when you see bad things happening and you do nothing, there is no more bliss in that ignorance. It is utter stupidity. So, the moment you see something happening that is taking your freedom away and you ignore it, you're a fool. And you will suffer for it and should. I mean, that is just a universal law. So, if you see something bad happening and you turn a blind eye, in other words, you deliberately remain or want to remain ignorant, then you're a fool. And I can't help someone like that. Don't try and convince anyone like that of any other reality because they won't see it. It's not convenient for them yet. And I always tell people that have this problem that are trying to convince other people of something that they perceive is happening in the world that's bad is firstly, look after yourself. Make sure that you first understand what's actually happening. And once you do, then be concerned with other people that are interested in listening to you. If they're not interested in listening to you, move on to the next person because you will find people that are interested. And that is all I have been doing across the country is finding other people that are willing to listen. I'm not going to try and convince someone or debate somebody or anything like that. I'm not interested in that. Okay. Ungas, they want to alter your scope, vision, and direction of influence by inviting you in. Yeah, well, Ungas, that's never going to happen to me. And I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I really don't care. And the person that invited me was probably surprised that I said what I said. But that is the way I am. I know that what we are doing in this community of people across the country is incredible what we are achieving already. Incredible because I've seen what people have done. It's not because of me, it's people doing things themselves on their properties where I've never been. And they are doing things their way. They are not doing it the way I say. I mean, there's very few things where I've given people suggestions on how to do something practically. I made one video on a 72-hour kit, the most basic form of 72-hour kit or grab bag that you can create. and I was ripped to shreds by all the preppers out there. I absolutely despise those people. I believe in self reliance and being prepared for any eventuality. And it is far more encompassing than many of the prepper movements that you get out there that are absolutely despised, because most of them are subversion. And far worse things can happen to you than what those people are prepping you for. So just consider that. And you need to be prepared for anything at any time, not when someone else tells you. And I really love the fact that so many people have gone and done things to prepare themselves on their own with zero input from me. And that's what we need. In other words, there's so many leaders in this country I can look up to with regards to many things. And that is what I need. That's what my family needs. And I really want to thank each and every one of you that have made that effort to be a leader in your own life first. Because once you do that, you become extremely useful, not just to yourself, but to the future of the country. And you will still see how that will pan out. Okay, Marlene. Hi, Marlene. Thanks for coming on. Nadia, yes, governments are used to exert control over people. And an interesting thing that's happening now is the way Cyril Ramaphosa has thrown Nedlak under the bus and told them to approach the Concord next year. It's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. At the end of the day, we determine what happens in the country, not the government, because or what is called the government, because we are the government. Like I always tell people, no one person is above the law, but we are the law. It's that simple. And yeah, hi Robert. Will Cyril survive the leaked audio? Um, Robert, I actually don't know. There's so many leaks that are true, so many that are fake. I can't verify the authenticity of that specific leak. And things with regards to Cyril are very complex right now, because he has made it clear that he has given us some grace as an individual, and he stretched his neck. And that could be why there's a counter narrative against him very, very quickly to pull him back into his rightful place. Because I mean, we should have had mandates by now from government based on what these people want, and Cyril hasn't given it to them. There's not even mandates within ESCOM. So they are sitting with a very tough situation right now. And so is Cyril, and he's playing an interesting game. And I'll keep on watching that game, because it can go anyway. I don't know what Cyril is going to decide, but I can tell you that his life is certainly under threat. If he should go against this new order narrative, Cyril knows that he's under threat. I don't want to be in his shoes with regards to what's happening now. Paul van Heerden, the hardest thing to do on your road to freedom is to let go of all policies and investments. If I knew what I know now, in my youth, I would never have had a bank account or policies. Paul, I think a lot of people feel that way. The concept of a bank, I don't think is necessarily a bad one, but we don't have banks today. We have we have thieveries. I mean, the fact that they're not all in jail, yeah, ignorance is death. You know, but like I said earlier, Lee, ignorance is bliss if you actually don't know what's going on. But if you put flaps on and you see bad things happening and you do nothing and you try and ignore it, that is stupidity. I mean, it's just, yeah, I don't know how to help people like that. But I really wish that I was ignorant, that I didn't know all of these things happening, and that I wasn't carrying the burden. If I could have time over, I wish I could just have a simple, ignorant life. And often, Lauren and I, we actually think about many people's lives out there, how simple it is. And I've often thought, if people can just spend one day, a couple of hours in my life for them to perceive what we have to deal with on an ongoing basis, They will understand what I mean. Hi, Gert. Down but not yet out. As we borrowed 500 billion from the IMF, they will call in that loan. Well, and the agreements with regards to that. Remember, there were many agreements that government signed. Now that is illegal because we actually have laws that stipulate how loans are made, and especially loans that size, where they get away under the Constitution and the Disaster Management Act. There's so many laws that are just thrown under the bus because of our Constitution. And remember, the Constitution is higher than the laws. Okay. Cyril the Frog on YouTube. Yeah. Sharon says, Des, I heard today an alt media guy in the USA talking about tracking your vehicle number plate, and thus you, as an individual, touch on the same subject you spoke about a year ago and reposted today. Sharon, the problem is that very soon we'll be forced for every vehicle to have that license plate with the tracking chip. And like I've mentioned, all the tolls across the country have already been fitted with the technology to trace those license plates. Now, that's a huge problem, but we will deal with that in future in a decisive manner. Hi, Jules. Marlene. Yeah, he is in the hot seat at the moment, Marlene. You know, a lot of people say they have no sympathy for him. When I need someone to turn, I try and wangle things in a way that they might connect to their younger years, you know. And Cyril was the head of the Christian Union at his school. If he has any conscience as a Christian, if he still sees himself as a Christian, I would like to pull on his Christian beliefs, and hopefully he will grow a conscience and do what's right. Okay, Angie Max says, who is Newell the Lion? Someone called Swartz. Oh, goodness. I'm not going to waste my time even talking about that, Angie. There is no such thing. It's all twak. Okay. Carol, thousands in the UK and Europe are protesting. It's all in vain. Absolutely. It's a complete waste of time and a subversion. Remember, when you hitting the streets, but then afterwards, everyone's complying. I mean, what's the point? South Africa, the people aren't hitting the streets, but they're just not complying. I mean, that's how people are in South Africa. They are a law unto themselves. And that's probably the saving grace from this New World Order agenda. It's the fact that the people in our country, they don't give a toss about the government whatsoever. Nadia says the loan was conditional to push a New World Order narrative. Well, absolutely. Sailor 777, hi, is listening in. Thanks for listening in. Hi, Edrich, how are you doing, man? You joined Reino's YouTube channel, so did I. A nice stream vid on Jan Smuts in the history playlist. Absolutely. Listen, Reino has a lot of historic information, and you know, he has started a channel membership list. So has Jared Petzer. Jared is going to be dropping bombshells after bombshell after bombshell with regards to his experiences with many influential people. Just remember, he has decided to walk away from their narrative, and it's a personal choice he made. And you know, you suffer when you do things like that. And at least his membership is a way for him to sustain the work that he's doing. There's a lot of important things that we need Jared to do, and he will set out to do that. He's going to work really hard. We communicate often, and yes, so go and support him. Become a member on his channel. You know, it's a small amount that you pay to actually keep him going. The same with Rhino, and you actually get contributions. In other words, you're going to get information that you wouldn't normally have. So I think becoming members on those channels. I'm a member on Rhino's channel, on Twitch channel, on the Promethean channel. I'm a member on all of those, and I learn from them because they have information, and it's important that that information goes out to the people of South Africa. And please go and join those channels, become a member, and support the work that they're doing. Because what I started a year and a half ago, well, almost 2 years ago now, we need a lot more people doing similar things. So I see Rhino going around speaking to people. Um, he will probably have Zoom meetings. Jared is working on so many things that we need that I can't focus on. And it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out because we're all individuals and we'll stay that way. And that is so important that individual people look after themselves, create their own truth, put it out to the people, and the people will judge it and decide if they want to be a part of that or not, and how they can help you to make a difference in the country. And all of these people have huge potential to make a massive difference in the future of South Africa. And we need them to make that difference. So please go and support them. Okay, there must have been some interesting discussions going on here. Hi, Sandy. Marlene says my brother just replaced his number plates and sure they have the dots. Yep. Rumpumelelo, I don't believe he is still a Christian. Well, we'll see how that pans out. I'm not sure what he is, Rumpumelelo. Time will tell, but I still have to appeal to that side of him. You know, it is psychology after all. Don't tread on me, says at Marlene. Can't you use tape or something to cover the dots? The dots can be scanned from a distance. So they don't transmit, but the scanners are active. And when the dot moves through the scan area, they can be picked up. So this is a real problem. Okay. Mandy Demut, what progress is there regarding direct elections? A lot of progress. So just remember that this channel is not focused on that. There's a Facebook group, there's an entire movement focused on hashtag direct elections and changing the political system, and that went really well and is way ahead of where we expected it to be, and that will continue until the job is done and we can actually directly elect our leaders. So it's really special. Everything we're doing now is around getting our leaders directly elected. All of it, everything we're doing. So it's much bigger than just a hashtag. We are actually doing things on the ground actively. Hashtag Freedom SA, those events where people come together. It's all about changing the political system and actually getting a system where we can elect our leaders directly. And it's working. It's working very well. Marlene says, not sure, might try that, maybe press stick. No, press stick or bubblegum is not going to make the difference, people. Sorry to say that. There is no ambassador, nothing, Sharif. It's all twak. Okay, twak, twak, twak. I don't know how else to put that. Funny that American people that give themselves self-appointed names, they need medical or psychiatric help. That's what they need. Ungar says funny that American Senate is pushing for the first official natural immunity study since the pandemic started. No country did anything towards that till now. There's many new narratives like that happening. I actually saved an article that I wanted to cover a while back. COVID-19 stop tracing and quarantining of contacts, says Ministerial Advisory Committee, the MAC. And I will still cover that article. I might do it tomorrow. I'll see. But that is a very important change. A lot of the things that they actually say in that article when it just came out, I thought, wow, this is a huge admission against the narrative in the mainstream media. And I find it interesting that swing that is happening, and it's deliberate. The swing is happening deliberately. Remember, it's very important for people to distrust government. And even for the sheeple out there that just followed the narrative blindly, they want them to start questioning because remember, in the end, they don't want governments to remain. They want governments to fall. If you want to put a one world government in place, you can't have countries with strong governments. They all need to be broken down. So read between the lines. Okay. Okay, the next question. Terrakian, there's in your dad paid an engine that used other fuel. Yes, it could run on water. Have you heard of sound creating electricity? Absolutely. Why are these alternatives not used? Go ahead and try and do it, and you will see that it is not energy efficient. Or in the Rothschild financial system, they will not make it financially viable. Okay, if that makes sense. So if money is not a factor, you can build whatever you want, and then it is about producing the cleanest form of energy. Now, I've had so many people contact me, hundreds contact me and say, but there's free energy available. I said, please show it to me. I want to see this free energy. And within the realm that we live in now, you're not going to get free energy. It doesn't exist. And within another realm, you won't call it free energy because then you are really pathetic. So, yeah. Um, we should use what is available to us that is the most efficient, creates the least amount of pollution, because pollution in the air is not a good thing. But if you go and cut everyone's electricity and everyone starts burning dry wood, see what that looks like in a metro and see if you like that. Very few people are going to like the outcome of that. Marlene has just given you Marlene has just given the people that had a question on where direct elections is going. She said, mainly join us. So, yes, we know exactly what to do. We are busy with that work, and next year we are going to pull away like a V18 dragster. It's going to be rough. Edrich twak, beeping twak lol. Lisa, it is said that the tests were a front of gathering DNA data. Why were the world's DNA harvested? To what end, if true? Well, Lisa, so if they harvest the DNA detail, what are they going to do with that? All babies' DNA detail is going to be harvested in future. I already did an article on that where biometrics will be used and DNA samples will be gathered from birth. So that's nothing new. Mandy the mood at Marlene will take a look. Thanks. Days are vital for true change here. Yes. Mandy, the movement is much stronger than we thought it would be at this stage. Incredible what's been achieved on the path to direct elections. And, it's not just a straightforward thing. You have to change people first. People first have to become self reliant for that new system where you directly elect your leaders for that system to work. Otherwise, you're just going to have another bunch of nutcases trying to run a country. And Pumalelo says, I saw a video on Fox News about take individual transport. Is this the something? I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to. You might have an incorrect word in there, Pumalelo. Mama Tembu. Hi, Mama Tembu. Marlene, the is implementing direct elections, Mandy. We're an awesome family fighting for freedom. It's a lot of the family in this chat. Hi, William. Great to see you. Hi, Derek. Some people are chosen days. How little information would people that don't have the perspective or capacity know, if not for me? It shouldn't be about me. This plan had to be rolled out for a reason worldwide. Just remember, there's many things that are being rolled out worldwide, and the big picture is a frightening one. It's just I had very specific information that I didn't ask for. My father gave me the info with regards to what was going to happen. He didn't give me time frames. I still don't have many time frames, but I do know the plan. I know the plan backwards from top to bottom, and it's very, very precise how it's being laid out. And that's why we need to be very precise in how we counter what these people are doing. I don't want my freedom taken away. Done but not out yet. Pebble bed reactors could be an answer for SA. Don't allow them to block it again. The argument against weapons grade plutonium enrichment is moot. I agree with you. There's so many possibilities for South Africa. We have to change the system first, people. I can't emphasize this enough. Once we've changed the system, there's so much that we'll be doing. And there will be many exciting things happening. And the mainstream public will not know about this because they will cock it up if they know about it. They will stuff it up. They don't know how to keep their traps shut. They don't. A lot of people don't know when to say something and when not to say something. And I mean, sure, to give people information that is not theirs to have, that they haven't found themselves, is dangerous. Hi, Paul, Ladybug. Love and light to everyone. Hi, Marlene. Hopefully, I will be joining tomorrow. I don't know joining what, but I hope you all have a great time. Hi, Bongani. Getting the majority of people to be self-reliant and for own to work is going to be a huge challenge. However, it's something I think we all should work towards. Well, there's a lot. There are a lot of people working towards that. It is a challenge, Bongani. Anything that's good is not going to be easy. Just remember, the enemy has been planning for centuries now, and they've been patient. Okay, their plans did not come to fruition overnight. When they wanted to collapse the fiat currency system, they failed. They have failed up until now. They're trying all sorts to end the fiat currency system. Think about what I have to say. So, um, the plan is sound. One must just implement the plan one by one. And a lot of people will ask, but how do we get to everyone out there? I say one at a time. It's that simple. How did the Bavarian Illuminati get their 2,000 members and how did they start influencing the rest of the world? One person at a time. Okay, there's your answer. So we just need to get at it. Moyabu, hi Des, what's your take on the new amendment for the title deeds with regards to the bigger picture of land? I think it's easy to get distracted with regards to that because if we focus only on changing the political system, everyone will have access to land and they will be able to own it properly, not like we have title deeds today. You will properly be able to own that land without anyone's land taken away. There is plenty land in this country. Get in a plane and fly all over South Africa. There's lots of arable land. And if we do things properly, there should be sufficient for everyone. You know, a lot of people say, but we're a water scarce country. And I tell them, dude, have a look at the flippin' Orange River when it's in flood and tell me how much water is blossoming into the sea. There close to Southwest Africa. Tell me how much water is going into the ocean per second. And tell me we don't have enough water. Twak story, man. What we haven't done is stored the water. To store water, you need freaking pumps and pipes. I mean, it's not rocket science. Even if you pump it into flippant tanks, you can do it. There's no such thing as, oh, it's kanati duni. We can't do this. It's nonsense. If you look at what's happened throughout the world, in Israel, in desert areas all over the world, don't tell me you can't store water, man. Nonsense. Plans to visit Hermanus. I don't have any specific plans. I'm not going to speak now about when I'm going to be where. The people in an area will know when I do what. I'm not going to, make things public. I'm sure I'm going to be coming to Hermanus a lot, Mandy, if that makes sense. Done but not out yet. The fiat system is why I mentioned the EU deficit, another chance to cripple the system. Just remember, you can't just make everything go bang in one shot. Okay, it has to go through a process. Like I said before, you can't just go and collapse the entire fiat currency system and not have everything in place to then transition to. If you don't have everything in place, if you don't have the fifth generation technology in place, And I'm not talking about flipping 5G cell phones, okay? I'm talking about fifth generation technology, the backbone for that, which is a fiber system, a rock solid fiber system, and all the other gadgets that you need to monitor, track, and trace people. If you don't have that full on backbone in place and you haven't got the Internet of Things up and running, how on earth can you transition from a fiat currency system to one where you can monitor, track, and trace every transaction a person does? You can't. So you must first get these things in place. They have to get it in place before they can do certain things. And that's just me using common sense. You don't have to believe me. Energy, yes, can't be destroyed. Absolutely. Dr. Zain, thanks for listening. Sasa, hi family. Sasa says, nice to hear these news from Konabushli, Utenake. Awesome. Thanks for listening. Mama Tembu. Paul, what do you think of cryptocurrency? Goodness, I've spoken about that at length. So, if you look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin was developed by the Council of 13 Families so that you can test people, test the cryptocurrencies to make sure that even the idiots out there will invest in it blindly without knowing that in future it will be fully monitored, tracked, and traced. Now, I'm not saying you can't invest in cryptocurrency and make an absolute fortune in fiat currency that you can exchange for something. Okay, if you can't exchange that fiat currency for something, you might have wasted your time completely. Um, so yeah, cryptocurrency to me is not a safe haven away from the central banking system. It supersedes the central banking system. It'll control you even more. It's actually beautiful how this has happened. A lot of the people that are developing cryptocurrency are doing it for different reasons. I've invested in XRP in the past and actually very closely monitored what's happening with XRP for one simple reason: the Federal Reserve banks are using XRP to transfer currency quickly between countries, and then they are pocketing the interest in the time that they make up. So I monitor that very, very well. I'm very familiar with what's happening in the crypto market. I stay on top of it all the time, and I have very specific people that inform me besides me watching the markets myself, like a hawk. Okay, I don't sit on it every day. When I mean like a hawk, I look at what the whales are doing. I look at what the 90% that aren't moving money around in Bitcoin, what are they doing? And are there any shifts? There's very few people actually trading Bitcoin. So most people have gone and just invested in it because they believe when fiat currency collapses, they want Bitcoin so that they can buy and sell things. And that might be true. However, every transaction you do, you will not be able to do in secret. Nothing will be secret anymore. I don't know how on earth that is a benefit. So to me, being self-reliant, as independent of government and corporate control as you can, that is real currency. A tomato in your backyard, a cucumber, a spun speck, um, chickens, whatever it is that you need to stay alive. That is real currency. You can write that on your wall. Okay. So, real currency is you not needing fiat currency, cryptocurrency, any other flippant currency that you can't eat or drink. Uh, Mandy, hopefully I'll meet with you soon. Matsu says invest in physical assets, not crypto. Okay, these are the five things you invest in: water, food, shelter, energy, and something to keep you sane. Those are the only things I will advise people based on my perspective on history in the future you should invest in. Anything else you're investing in is a waste of your time and effort. That's my perspective. Take it or leave it. Paul van Heerden says, hashtag Cash Friday investment banker. Catherine Austin Fitz says, try and use cash, especially on Fridays. No trades on cash. Now, think about this. Why not use cash every day? Why on Fridays only? So, Yes, fads are nice. Use cash, people. If you can, do it. If you can't, don't. There will be a time when you probably should have some cash on hand, and that time might be pretty soon. Okay, Derek, economic disempowerment is what we need to work towards. There will be no other choice for them to step down. It's not just about stepping down, Derek. It's about the fact that they will have no power over you because the next thing they would have to do is stop you from being self reliant. Now, this is already happening in countries like New Zealand and Australia, where they will want to control what you grow in your garden. So don't think it's going to stop them from annihilating you and your ability to become self-reliant. They're going to flip and struggle to do that here in South Africa. Okay. Lana Geldenhuis, what about gold and silver? I recently shared a video for the members in the community tab, and in that video, there's a well-known person that speaks about the economic markets. There's many things he's not familiar with, but there's a lot of good information that he does give. And he specifically says that gold and silver, that it's God's money. But he misses one thing. And he does mention this, and that is that the value of gold and silver can still be manipulated, and is. So you can have all the gold and the silver in the world. If that price is turned to nothing, what are you going to do with it? Eat it. I don't know what you're going to do with it then. The 5 things you need for survival is what you need, people. Please listen to me: water, food, shelter, energy, and something to keep you sane. That's it. Nothing else. So down but not out yet, seeds and knowledge. That's what I'm doing right now. Seeds to gain the experience of growing food in difficult soil, and knowledge will always benefit you. Knowledge you can get anywhere. You can listen to the biggest idiots out there and still gain knowledge. So I've often told people, the other day I said to people, they must go and listen to Jeremy Null, they must go and listen to what's his name? Roman Kavanagh of Morning Shot. And Roman made a video the other day where I thought, yes, like the man still has quite a lot to learn, and that's fine. When he lauded all these political parties forming this alliance, he called it the biggest event in the 25-year political history since 1994. I see it as the biggest subversion in the politics of the country. Yeah, so a lot of people have a lot to learn still, and they have their own perspective, and that's fine. It's good for you to look at other people's perspective. But I'm going to give you mine on this channel, my perspective on history in the future. It says so here on my shirt. I will give you my perspective on history in the future. And I can tell you now, the DA creating that coalition, all those people selling out the people that supported them, they are sellouts, absolute sellouts. And they are going to together implement this new order. It would be better for the ANC to actually come right than have this lot cause the crap that they're going to be causing in the near future. And people are going to fall for a decline and sinker. Shame. Don't tread on me. Des, I understand what you're saying. The infrastructure needs to be in place to reset the fiat system. What year do you guesstimate this will be? They have to do the reset either before or just after 2030. I mean the full change. And there's a lot that needs to take place before then. And then you can actually do partial scares beforehand. Like this COVID-19 pandemic is chicken feed, people. It's chicken feed compared to what is coming. I actually thought before I started this video that one thing I need to mention to you is that people that think that we've had it tough now, you have no idea what the First and Second World War was like. The people that lived through that. I remember my grandparents, they had the sieve that was illegal, that they used to sieve flour. They would grind wheat and sieve flour because it was illegal to bake white bread. You weren't allowed to make your own bread. You had to stand in picking queues and get it from the government. I don't think people have any idea what has happened to people in the past, how their freedoms have been taken away. The people that make now as if our freedoms are being taken away for the first time in flipping forever, it's twat. It's been much worse in the past, and believe me, it's going to get worse than it's ever been in the past. We have just begun. We have just begun. This is just the scratch on that scab. Really. We haven't seen anything yet. When Bill Gates and Prince Charles makes these statements, listen to them. Take it seriously. I will repost the invite to the Telegram Self-reliance group in the main Double O Days Telegram group in the main channel. Sorry, I'll repost it. Okay, Carol, read the camps that they have set up in New Zealand and ask for unvaccinated. Do you think it will go worldwide? Carol, I did a video on camps, quarantine camps in South Africa. When was it? In May of last year. Do you know that we have quarantine camps in the country? This article that I was referring to earlier. In fact, I'm going to give you. Oh, flip. I almost went and canceled the stream. I'm going to give you the link to that article now. And when this article just came out, I actually, like I said, I had it up, I saved it, and I wanted to do a video on it at the time. But go and look at that. Quarantine camps have existed in South Africa for more than a year now. Remember the case of the two nurses that were sent there that then went to court, and the court actually found against government in the quarantine camp. And this is why they've been reluctant to use them. So they've created these massive quarantine centers that have done nothing at an absolute fortune. DARPA, what is DARPA achieving at the moment in any case? There's so many, if you look at the Chinese and the Russians, what they have proven capability of, I mean, DARPA must be an embarrassment right now. Adrian, I sometimes get the feeling this whole farce is about to blow up. The bloke who took Volkswagen on seems to be making waves as a investigation group. Also, the French are taking the media on for lies. If it blows up, especially in the mainstream media, it's because that's the intention, Adrian. And don't miss that. If the mainstream media doesn't cover it, then it's not the intention for people to know it. If they do cover it, it is part of the plan. Okay, so don't get fooled by that. Matsu, why do I think South Africa is the best place to be? I don't think it, I know it. Okay, look at evidence. So why is South Africa the best place to be? Against the New World Order plans that are being rolled out. And we are the New World Order, okay? How New World Order do you think we are? The people of South Africa. Come on, man. The people of this country, we are awesome. We are so haragat. We are so different. We all fight each other in every flippant direction. The person that phoned me on Monday, I said to him, good luck to you. With all these different groups giving their 5 minutes, 5 cents worth, you better hope that you get the mic back. People in this country will not work together until they only have the clothes on their backs. And there's many people in this country that only have that. And I would almost dare say that the majority of people are close to that and have been living under those conditions for decades and decades and decades. You can't come here with your New World Order narratives and ideas and come and tell these people that they must X, Y, Z. They're going to tell you to stuff off. A lot of those people don't even care that laws exist at all. At freaking all. They don't care about any Western law. They don't care about any Western government. The least of the South African government. If you look at the amount of people that vote currently, that believe in the democratic voting system, it's a joke. So, you know, yeah, they can't just come and control this country, okay? This country is filled with diversity. And it's absolutely beautiful to see how this diversity is kicking New World Order butt. Six love. Yeah, we are a gat, Marlene, absolutely. Um, Adrian, I've told everyone, if you go and look in the description below each and every one of my video, you will see the link to Odyssey. So every video that I upload gets transferred to Odyssey automatically. Has been since this channel existed. So it's just the live streams that aren't there. So just be careful what you comment in the comments. Remember, the comments are monitored and the video can be removed because of things said in the comments. I really want to thank some. Wow, we've been on for over an hour now. There's about 220 odd people watching. Thanks for all joining in. Hi, Xavier. Where the new stats of the zero micron variant coming from? There is no curfew or social distancing happening in many places in the country. Xavier, when that happens, you need to try and see why. Why all of a sudden is this break given to us and Cyril orchestrated that? Remember, Netlag wanted to force all sorts of things on us at this time, but it didn't happen. So, what is Cyril doing? Why is he allowing all of this to happen? And you need to ask yourself that question. Okay, let me tell you something. Whatever is out there right now is spreading like wildfire. Okay, you can just look at someone and you'll get it. Down but not out yet. Autonomous something drones. That's what DARPA have been working on for the last few years. They can go spin. Those things have existed for a long time, but the technology that the Chinese and the Russians and many other countries have will absolutely play and mess around with those drones. So, yeah. Mandy says, you're so right, is we are mostly lawless here. New World Order will give up on us soon. I think they are. If you just remember, initially South Africa was going to be the test tube, and then it moved to Australia and New Zealand. So the poor sods there got the brunt. Audrey, hi. Rather late than never. We'll watch from the beginning after. Awesome. Hi, William. Any comment on the 20-hour blackout that just occurred? The extent, the message sent? Um, Just remember, blackouts will occur more and more and more worldwide. So the energy crisis has to be a worldwide crisis. They have to create it everywhere. They had to implement renewable energy to create that crisis, and it's been very effective. Putting propellers everywhere and solar panels that can't run large grids. They knew this from the beginning. The companies that installed them knew it. They knew that you can't run large industry on these grids. So they need to collapse the grids to change the economies to get to smart city systems. The fourth industrial revolution. Everything is working like clockwork. Okay. So, William, the plan is to collapse grids. And once you do that, the fourth industrial revolution is there, where large scale industry ceases to exist. You can start zoning areas like in the Hunger Games. You have districts where people do certain things. And in an entire country, there might be no manufacturing. You can do all the manufacturing of steel in China and then send it wherever you want it. And no other country will manufacture steel. If you have a one world government, they can control where anything is produced. Bongani, yeah. Hopefully, yeah, we'll see what Roman picks up as he goes along. Yeah, there's still a lot of naivety there, but that's fine. Everyone has to learn at their own pace in their own time. Marlene, one of those rumors I see has a beautiful piece of jewelry on his ankle. Would that be nice if true? Marlene, that is interesting. William, with regards to my last video concerning our commitment as a signatory, you know, um, uh, the fact that we are signatories is a huge problem because it binds us legally. A lot of people don't understand that. Yeah, the Green Deal in Pumelelo. So you have to change that. You have to put a legitimate governance system in place where the people are in charge, where you directly elect your leaders, where you can change the influence of international corporations, international governments, international entities that are non elected. Down but not out yet. That's a big reason for the elites hating Trump. He was brought back the American manufacturing base not for anything other than his love of making money. Absolutely. Very well said. That's actually a very good summary. Yeah, just another gang. But the thing is, he was not. He was doing things that served his own interests. A lot of people didn't see it that way, but he did it in such a clever way. Trump is not stupid. He knows exactly what he's doing. And a lot of people use the name of Donald Trump for all sorts of other twak, just like these people that claim that they are a this and a that. These people are nuts. You know, how many times would the world have been saved as the queen been locked up and all the governments have had stepped down? I'm so sick and tired of all this nonsense. If people don't by now realize that this is a lot of twak, then I don't know. You know, a lot of people want to hear what they want to hear instead of what is happening. Or I can give you my perspective. That's all I can do. Anything else to me is twak, is rubbish, and that's it. So you don't have to believe what I say at all. I give you my perspective. To me, the rest is twak. Yaku, awesome. It'll be great to see you when you're back here. It was nice to having been able to chat to you in the past. Okay, William Seagal asks a very relevant and important question. How seriously should one take Elon in terms of their planning and thinking? Very seriously, William. He understands the time frames very well. Okay, let me go up further. Nadia, your take on elites buying up arable land worldwide? Yeah, be afraid, be very afraid. Mandy, I now understand what friends meant when they said New Zealand was not as great as I thought. It seems like a huge strict school teaching sheep. It's much worse than that, Mandy. The leader of New Zealand is an utter nutcase. Lana Geldenhuis, anything new on us breaking the law as far as running Eskom at a certain capacity? We want to. I'm not exactly sure what you're trying to refer to, Alana. Eskom needs to. Yeah, maybe I should stay out of the Eskom discussion at the moment. I'm too close to what's happening on the ground. For real. All I can tell you is there's many professional people working long, hard hours to keep the grid as stable as possible and have as many generators on as possible. With regards to the laws, one thing I can say, and this is important, Lana, that Eskom's appeal will be heard, which means that they have time now. Okay. So I think that's what you're referring to. So they are given a chance for an appeal. And so there is a bit of time. I don't know how much time. If they lose the appeal, they will shut down immediately. Will go to stage 10 load shedding, not 8. 16,000 megawatts is a lot. It could be more than stage 10 load shedding. Okay, so there is a bit of reprieve at the moment. Edrich, have a good night. Yeah, this is way over the time that I planned. It was nice to spend time with you, to just spend time with all of you. There's 234 people watching now. Thanks all for joining. Um, we don't have building societies today, Zook. No. Marlene, research all the executive orders Trump signed regarding FEMA. If authentic, not so very nice. Never mind this. Okay, he bragged the other day profusely about that. Hi Debbie, hoop dit gaan goed. Ek gaan jou môre 'n likeie gee. Let's welcome Debbie Els with us in the stream. Yeah, I hope you have a good flight, Jaco. It's great that you're returning. We're looking forward to that. Carol, everyone that's overseas, I tell them to get to South Africa as fast as you can. Because things will develop in the rest of the world. Things will first get worse in South Africa before it gets worse in the rest of the world. But you might not get that opportunity to get here. So I tell everyone, get back. Yeah, Debbie, I'm not 100% yet, but almost there. I've been talking for quite a while now, so I do need to get rest. So everyone, thanks for joining me. Have a good night's rest. Debbie, I'll give you a call tomorrow to hear how you're doing. Lauren told me earlier that you had some good news in a live stream, so I'll go and watch it now because I really wanted to see what you had to say. So have a good night, everyone. Thanks for joining. Yeah, Yaku, I think that's a good take, Carol. Yaku is saying to Carol, it's hard to tell. I've heard that from the 1st of Feb next year, it will be mandatory. Some places it already is. Some airlines are getting into trouble at the moment. I don't want to go into too much detail here, but just know that you need to get back as fast as you can. Okay. If you want options. Saza says that happy I've managed to get home. Scary out there it is. Oh, Mandy, there's over 800 videos now. It's going to take a while to work through everything. Those of you that are channel members that have joined as channel members, please go and watch the past live streams as well as the special members videos that I've made. It's all there for you to go and watch. So spend that time, make the time and effort. This Thursday is going to be another humdinger. I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, SA must unite, absolutely. Yes, Marlene, see you Thursday evening at 8 o'clock. All the Double Days channel community members. Like I said, the community has grown now to 960 members. We'll soon reach 1,000. It's incredible what that community is achieving. And, it's so nice to be in a platform where you can discuss things openly with those channel community members. So, good night. Oh, you're only 2 months behind, Mandy. I've made a lot of videos in that time. So, yes, enjoy the watching. Bye, Dirk. Good night, everyone. Sleep nicely.